Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It's us. We're really excited to be here today. And while people are coming, we'll just kind of introduce ourselves a little bit. This is the social media engagement and cell phone photography mini session. We intend this to be like a workshop where we ask questions and you guys can feel free to give us your responses and help us know what things your company is struggling with. So just to share a little bit about Gerber Business Solutions, we are a coaching and consulting and temporary administrative and marketing assistance company. And I have myself and a graphic designer and an administrative assistant, as well as many partners and collaborators like Charmlight Photography. So Christy here, she's from Charmlight Photography, and she's going to talk to us about some cell phone photography things. But before we get going, I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Christy with Charmlight Photography. I've owned a photography business for 8 years, and I've also done photography for about 16 years, and I love it. And I think I have a lot of great things to share with you today, along with Emily here, who is pretty amazing. So
hopefully. Okay, so to start off, we're going to I'm going to talk to you about this figure back here. I brought my whiteboard from my home office. My assistants allowed me to borrow it. This is from my kids, of course, but this is the fun part, really. It's so fun. So just to give you guys a little bit of an idea where to start, I know that social media can be daunting. It can be overwhelming. There's even if you're good at social media, you start a business and you're not quite sure what to do or where to start. Even if you're really good at social media, it can be daunting because you go on Pinterest and you can see, top 10 things that you should do, or like the time that you should post here, the time you should post here, and time you should post here, all on different platforms. So today we're going to kind of break it down a little bit, make it a little bit more manageable, and give you some tips to walk away. This little buddy here is a friend of mine, and this is kind of how I describe the importance of social media, interactions on social media, and what you should be posting and why. So, hey Camille, thanks for joining. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions about specific parts of your social media, and we can answer those using your company as we go. So when you walk into a room for social media purposes, or for just the purpose of sharing information about your business, what is something that you do when you are trying to find out about someone else? So one thing that I do is I know that a lot of people tend to kind of look around the room and try to see who would be the most approachable. So I try to look at, maybe what they're dressed like. Do they have commonalities that I can use to approach them with, things like that. So when you're setting up a social media campaign, you need to think about your target market. First of all, it's most important to realize that you shouldn't just try to market to everyone. A lot of times when you first start to start a company or have a product that you want to sell, you think your product, it's going to affect the world. Everyone is going to need this, and it could be true. But first of all, the people that are going to want your product the most, they are going to be the ones that resonate the most with you or with the message that you're trying to put across. So, for instance, I know with Camille, she owns a life coaching company. So with her, a lot of the people maybe that resonate more with her are people that realize that they aren't quite happy, or maybe people that need someone to help them touch base with things that they can do to get back on track with setting goals and things like that. So when people look at your website, Camille, they're going to look for things that help them achieve goals. So that's the eyes. I'm gonna use a marker. Yeah. So what they see is needs to match your vision for your company and what message you want to portray. The next step is the message that you're sending. So the smile, I like to send a happy message because I want to be happy and I want to help people to be happy. My company, Gerber Business Solutions, is for helping to solve people's business problems, and that makes me happy, and hopefully it makes them happy. So the messaging, or the words and the text and the pictures that I put across on social media need to be happy, have a good message to them. If you're trying to strike a chord with people, like standing up for a cause, then you need to have messages that portray, maybe sadness, to get people inspired to see the difference that needs to be made in the world. So your message might be sad coming across, or something like that. Christy, can you think of another example that you might have seen?
Well, I know for me, when I started my business, the whole idea of wanting to approach like everyone, that totally was it.
Yeah.
I want to do weddings, I want to do kids, I want to do families, I want to do this, and I want to take everyone's picture, which is a great thing because I learned a lot. But over time, I realized what I really loved, and I love doing family photography mainly. I still do the occasional wedding, but I realized I wanted to focus on families, and so I wanted to convey that message of families, happiness, and that kind of stuff. And I feel like over time it's developed, and I've kind of gained a following of just family. Like, that's my main source of business at this point. At least in using examples myself, I feel like I try to portray something that is happy, that is light, that is outgoing, and the feelings you want to feel, and nostalgic, I guess.
Yeah.
When you think of photos and what you're doing and remembering. So. Yeah,
and Christy's is a really good example. Her company name is Charmed Light Photography, kind of giving you an airy, light feel. So all of her pictures that she posts on there obviously have a great deal of light, and any of the messages that she shares have a lot to do with light and, kind of a charmed
the lighter feeling of happiness.
Yeah, the happiness. So to go along with that, the next thing that we think about is actually going to be the heart. So is there a cause that you stand for? My company, we like to do pro bono work for small businesses. I feel like there's a lot of service-oriented sides of companies that I know, like another one of my clients, Simon Gray Designs, they are a wood design company, but they also have a heart for saving rescued animals, and that's good. My message is self-love, confidence, clarity, and calm, and that's completely portrayed in your website and in your social media as well. Although I'm doing some of your social media, so yes, it is. But so the heart, it's important. If you do have a cause that you are true to, then make sure that you tie that into your messaging. With the Simon Gray Designs, I worked with them to put the pictures of the dog that was rescued out front with pieces of wood that they're selling around it. So that's their cause tied with their product, and it helps people from the target market that they're looking for resonate with them and understand them as a person. So all of these steps are getting to know the person or the company. This is really the company. And just like introducing yourself when you walk into a room, but you kind of have to do it slowly and in little increments. Another thing is the hands, and this is really
You're really good, Emily. Don't worry.
really that poor person with those 3 fingers over there. That's horrible. So the hands, and in that case, like, what does it take to put your product together or the service that you provide? So if there's anyone out there who wants to let me know what service you provide or what product, we can kind of help you know how to tie that in. Just go ahead and give us a shout out and like or hearts as well, so that we know what your business needs. So to go along with that, also we have, so if you're going to help people know what you do with your hands, like if it's a wood product, you want to take pictures of the behind the scenes. So I think the hands are kind of the behind the scenes of the making of your product. Or even if it's a service, you sitting down by your computer, or you sitting down with a client that you have approval to take a picture of, or something like that. So people love to see the behind the scenes. Thanks. And then the feet. This is one of my favorites. Oh yeah, those are some really good cloth hangers there. The feet. So if you think of feet, what do you think of?
Well, mine are really stubby and look like hobbit feet.
Maybe not the look of the feet, but what can feet do?
Well, do your foundation. They are literally what you are on and hold you up every day.
They hold you up, and they can also take you places. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting to know a company, you want to see that product. For instance, if it's an athletic store, walking and moving. Yep. Mm-hmm. If it's an athletic store, you don't want to just see pictures of running shoes on the shelf. For instance, I love running, so that's why I thought of that. I want to see the product out being used. So I want to see pictures and videos of the product out in cool places. Like, I'd love to see a pair of running shoes up on a mountain, even if they don't have feet in them. Like, it doesn't matter. Just like in interesting locations. Where can this product take you? For Camille, like her life coaching, the really good thing about her company is that she can do things like this even with a service. She can take pictures of people being happy on vacation, or like after working really hard with her, they can have a picture relaxing in Hawaii or something like that, and talk about how working with Camille has helped them to be able to get to that sense of clarity. So for me, that's kind of a big deal. Mindfulness in the mountains. Yep. And Camille does really good with that. She took people up to the mountains, and we took videos there and got people to see that working with her helps to ease your mind and create peace. And we did some yoga and other things like that, and developed a social media campaign kind of around that. So that was really good. So does anybody have questions about the reasoning and the pieces of the social media? I think there's one more thing I wanted to say too. The vision. The eyes are like the vision of the company. So in a mission statement, you have the vision of a company, and that's where you see your company going. You want to show people with their eyes where you want this company to go, or where you want this product to go. If your vision of the company is to help 100 hungry people, you need to take a picture of 100 hungry people and have it posted all over, and of like 10 people being fed. You want to help those people.
You want to help them just see the story that you're trying to tell. I think that's a big thing, is just see that story.
Yeah, to see the story that you want to tell. Mm-hmm. So after portraying this and kind of getting some ideas, the second thing I want you to do is write down a list of things that that you have thought about, things that have come to your mind while we've been going through this, how your product or service can relate to this, how you want to portray yourself to the world through social media. First step is to have a really good website, to have really good branding that matches on your website and looks clean and has the same colors, the same logo and effects. So you're making everything really clear as far as what you stand for, easy to find. And then you set up your social media platforms with matching branding on them as well. And then you write this list and you go through this list. And I wanted to just give you a couple pointers as far as things to set up on a social media plan. After writing the list down, there are some really effective things that you can make posts and engagements about as far as how-to videos. If you're a restaurant, like I have a Brazilian kitchen restaurant down in Provo that I've done work with, and they have this is so fun. They have so one of the ideas that we were working with them on is to have videos of the restaurant owner doing like making, even if it's just something simple that they don't sell at their store, this brings people the reminder that this is a restaurant owner who's teaching me, for instance, how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something that they do normally. So they're showing you kind of a behind the scenes of their life. They're showing you with their eyes. With your eyes, you get to see into their life, and with their hands what you do and how you do it. And they're showing you with your feet, with the feet, because they took you to an interesting location. And so a video like that would be really interesting to watch. Top 10. So if you do anything with tips, you think about 10 steps that a client or a customer could take, and you break them up into 10 steps and just make something really simple to go out. That's a really good idea. And you can also use that as day number 1, day number 2, day number 3, until it all adds up incrementally to 10 steps. So once you have those ideas, you want to come up with a theme for a 6-month plan. So 6 different themes that
we are at my home and my 5-year-old keeps trying to come in and join our party. So
we're having a tea
parties with grandma and grandpa buddies. Please go on. Small business owners. This is what we are.
No, it's the best. It's so the best. So you want to come up with 6 different themes for 6 different months. And then when you have a theme for each of those months, I would start at the very next month that you have coming up. So we would start with August. We would prepare like a week before August and get all of our social media for 1 month done. And for that 1 month, I would choose 3 themes. It's backwards. 3 themes. Maybe something fluffy, like a motivation or something, and then something heavy, like a how-to or a tutorial or a tips and tricks or something, and then something fun. And you could even do them maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You could set them up like that, and then it leaves Tuesday and Thursday for organic posts. And organic posts are just like,
for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment, like
you had a recent. For me, it's I have a recent photo session. I want to share it with you, or just something
upcoming event.
Yeah, something in all truth. I feel like the organic posts for me are how can the client relate to me? Because I feel like when photography wise, you want to develop a relationship with your clients for one, so that you can show them, who you are and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it lets them know who I am. So that's. Sorry, I'm off topic.
No,
but I feel
like
these posts are allow you to show them who you really are on a day-to-day basis. So
yeah, those are organic. And if we use that word, organic, then we'll get more street cred.
Yes,
and that's what we all want: street cred.
We can charge more for.
We can charge more for street cred, but we won't. But anyway, so hopefully that helps you a little bit to set up that. I would set up that 1 month, try it out, and then the next month, like towards the end of that month's last week, you try to set up another month in a similar way, something fluffy, something heavy, and something fun. And
he's with Grandma, buddy. Please go.
Something fluffy, something heavy, and something fun. And then and you can change it out. So if for 1 month you did how-tos, the next month you do a product spotlight once a week. So that showcases kind of what your product is. If it's a restaurant, then a different item menu every week. And you can, combine that with things like discounts that are coming up or promo codes. If you use this promo code, you come into our office, or if you come into our restaurant today and use this promo code, you'll get a discount. Things like that are really good to allow people to get to know your product and to be able to be aware of you. And
I think that's an important part, is awareness, because I was with her, helping her out with that person. They said, well, no one came in and used the promo code, but I was like, but people are aware that you have a promo occasionally. And I know for me, I might not be able to go every time that there's a promotion going on, but I see it and I think, oh, I want to try that again. Like, I want to try that out sometime. So the next time they have a promotion, try and go then. So yeah, like you might not see the automatic results of some of these things, but they do help. I know they do, because I think you all do, because you kind of fall into those, oh, I can't do this now because I can drop everything and do this. But when you realize companies offer these types of things.
Yeah. And that brings up my last point, actually, is to be consistent. Mm-hmm. To try something out, not be afraid to try it out, and to be consistent about it. So if it doesn't work 1 month, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Think about it and try it out again. See if 2 months gives you better traction. Really, honestly, your first year, you're not going to want to hear this, but your first year of starting a small business is all about trying different things and seeing who your target market is and seeing how you communicate. It's a lot like getting to know a person and building a relationship with the company. So the company or product. And so that's a really important thing, to be able to send a good message that and you don't have to feel like salesy per se. Mm-hmm. You just are letting people know about your product so that they're aware of it. In the future, we'll talk more about sales funnels and how to do those, but that's the first step, is building the awareness. So without further ado, we're going to turn the time over to who you all came here for.
I'm not so sure about that. Emily's pretty awesome.
Because I'm excited to learn more about how to be a boss with my cell phone in the photography realm and how that can help my business. So I'm excited for her. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for letting me, and thank you, Emily, for letting me be part of this. Yeah. And honestly, you have such great information. I know when I first talked to her, she really helped me out on like a few things that just kind of like clicked and like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. So really, she knows what she's talking about. When it comes to photography, I obviously am very passionate. I've done photography for years, and I feel like it's something really and truly, like, as a professional photographer, I really shouldn't say this, but anyone can do photography and be a good photographer. Especially with the products we have today. Cell phones are great for small businesses, obviously for multiple reasons, but really when it comes to social media and cell phone photography, it's changed the world of marketing, I feel like. And I think learning how to use your cell phone camera is so important. And there are just simple things that you can do that will make your life so much easier and better. So I wanted to share with you a few things that I feel like would benefit you in conveying, well, to me, when you are posting a picture online, for me, I'll say Instagram and Facebook a lot, because those for me are like one of my biggest draws. So know that when I say something. But for when I use social media, of course, my whole idea and my whole business is based off of imagery. But when you're using social media, especially those certain applications where it is kind of focused around photography and that kind of stuff, and you're posting things, you want to make sure that you're sending the message that you want for your business. You want, that overall message. You want to make sure that it's conveyed through the images that you're posting online. And so finding a look that's consistent is very important. And so when it comes to taking the pictures, you want to make sure you're doing a good job so that you can post something that's beautiful online that you won't go, oh, really? Did they? Because I think it cheapens the look of things when you post something that's not quite as attractive. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the most basic of all photography things, and that is light. Now, when you take a picture, you want to have good light. No matter what you're doing, whether you're a hairstylist, whether you're a life coach, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a food blogger, anything, whether you make Etsy products, okay, you want to make sure that the lighting is good, because it can make the difference of everything. It will just make the biggest difference. That's all I can say, is it's just such a big deal. And so when Emily and I were setting up, when we talked about this whole thing that we were going to do, the first thing I was talking about is, so where are we going to do this? Because I wanted to make sure that we had great light, and as you can see, we're in a good spot. We actually chose, if you want to know, we chose my front room, and the reason being is there is a big, giant picture window right there. See, woo! So that picture window gave us a great place to, have good light in a comfortable area that was, that we felt would be appropriate for what we're trying to do. So when you're taking a picture, you want to make sure that you are in a bright spot. And I know it's kind of hard because I would say the light is almost more, well, it is more important than the location. You can change things about a location, you cannot change the light. So I just want you to be very aware of what you're about. Now, when it comes to lighting also, say you're taking a picture of a product or something, I want to show you something really fast. So right now, the reason why I changed my positioning is, and of course the camera's compensating a lot, but the reason why I changed my positioning, so, sorry, straight on image. Right here, I'm pretty much facing the light almost directly, and then I'm changing it right here to where there's a shadow on my face. Automatically, it changes the whole look of something. And so, if you're taking a picture of the beautiful, awesome, amazing grandma's recipe spaghetti, you want to make sure that you've got basic, good, all-around light. And so, the first tip I want to tell you, one is find the biggest, best window that you have in your house and get right on in it. And then number two, of course, you have your camera ready. But the next thing I want you to do is find a white piece of paper. And the reason being, and you'll be able to see this hopefully quite well right now, is I put this piece of paper right up by my face. And of course, you wouldn't want the paper in on the picture. But do you see how the light changed just then? See, you can see my little jawline that I have from. But see, it changes the way the whole image would look. And you want to be able to create a balanced light in your images. And that applies to everyone. Even when you're taking pictures of hair, face, if you're a hairstylist, face it towards the window. And if you need to put up light, and just make sure you don't, get the paper in the light. But I think that's a very simple thing when it comes to cell phone photography. But like I said, the paper thing is just a little trick, especially for items and products. But really light. Always make sure that the light on the face especially is balanced. If you're taking a picture of a person, it will make things look so much better on your images. Now, really, that was really cool. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay, we'll do that in a second. So,
I don't need a picture taken of me, but it was pretty cool when she showed me right here how I can do it.
So, well, I will do that. So actually, I'll do that right now. So and of course I lost my thing that I had to tell me what to talk about. I don't know where I just put it, of course. That happens.
You might be freaked out.
Oh my gosh, what did I do?
She says, should the light be in front of you, not behind?
There are different circumstances for sure. You can't. There are circumstances where you cannot alter the light in the image, and this is actually why she wanted to take a picture, because what you want to make sure is that when sometimes the light is behind you and you can't help that. You don't want that to be the case. You do try to face the light whenever possible. But there are situations where you just can't help it. Like right now I can't think of it, but right now I want to show you what you can do with your camera on your phone. So if you were to pull up, I have an iPhone, of course, but it's with any of the phones. Androids, yeah, she has an Android. So. But when it comes to taking a picture, what you can do, you want to make sure the light is correct. Now, these phone cameras are actually pretty nifty and awesome. And what you want to do is if you're taking a picture and you sit there and you see that the person looks like really bright or really, say they look really dark. Okay.
Really beautiful.
Or yes. Well, they're saying it's a little bit darker. It's just a different light situation. Have you ever taken a picture and you have the bright sky behind, and the sky looks awesome, but the person in the picture is totally dark, and you really wanted the picture of the person? This is a situation where you would go into your camera, and what you would do is if you have a person that you want to take a picture of the person and not a picture of the sky behind you, you would go and you actually touch the person, you would touch her face. I'm touching Emily's face in the picture and making sure that she's properly exposed, and you'll see it will adjust, and then you take the picture. Whereas if I were to go, I'm doing it again. Okay, so I took 2 pictures, and one of the pictures is not very complimentary. Sorry. So
because of my funny
this
face.
picture I took a minute ago, and I touched her face, and notice the picture is, see the camera on the computer is balancing it out improperly, but it's actually a properly exposed image. Can you see that? I'm having a hard time showing it, but it's a properly exposed image. Okay, whereas this one, it's she's way too bright. Her face looks white. It's not the correct exposure. Does that make sense? So all I did to fix it was, see, everything's backwards on this when I'm watching it. So all I did to fix it was just touched her face when I was in the camera mode, and it adjusted it, and then I the picture. So you want to so that's a situation where if you can't correct the light, if you can't turn around and get facing the light, then do that, and the camera will adjust for you. Does that help you out?
I want to show an example real quick. The other day, if I can get this straight backwards, when I went running, I took this picture, and I touched my face. So you see that it's doing really well with me, but oh man, I can't.
You want to face it down. Right?
I'm
there we go.
Backwards face. but you can't see the sunrise in the back. It's just kind of
it's blood. It bleeds out.
Yeah.
But she wanted to picture the sunrise.
This is the sunrise that same day, 1 second after, when I just zoomed in on the sunrise and took a picture of the sunrise.
And you would touch you would touch on the camera. You would touch the sky to expose for the sky. Does that make sense? So you just touch the sky. So that's a simple thing. A lot of people just take a picture I got the picture. So that's one thing you need to be mindful of, is just touch the image of what you want to expose the image. If you want to show the sky, you touch the sky. If you want to show your ball of yarn that you are going to sell online, you touch you touch that ball of yarn. If you make sure you're exposing properly, and that will help a huge amount when it comes to images. Okay. The next thing, kind of in that same realm that I keep forgetting to bring up, is that when you're taking a picture, you want to actually take, at least for me, I take several different angles, because I'm gonna take a selfie. No, I'm not gonna take a selfie. But well, I'm just saying, when you take a selfie, you kind of actually you take a lot of pictures and you find the right angle where you feel the most confident. It's the same idea of that, but you're doing that for your image.
Becky.
Hi, Becky. So it's the same idea for your for whatever you're taking pictures. Say, I'm using yarn because that was the topic when we were practicing. The person that was doing that, she was talking about yarn. So when you're taking the picture, you want to take it in multiple things. You don't want to just take one image. You can take multiple images on one day and use it for multiple posts, but you take from different angles materials you take from different like different things in regards to it. The yarn, you can take a picture of that beautiful ball of yarn, but you can also take a picture of you using that beautiful ball of yarn, kind of like what she talked about earlier. You can take a lot of pictures, especially if it's a good setting. I would say take a lot of those pictures, and also just make sure you're exposing it correctly, because that's something that if you have the right situation, you want to, you know, use that to your advantage, especially when it comes to preparing for future posts on your social media. The next thing that people ask about the most, that I feel like is one of the most commonly asked things when it comes to like cell phone photography, number one, if you're getting the exposure correctly, that's like pretty much, you can post something online and feel good and confident about what you're doing if you just get it exposed correctly. But if you do feel like you want to edit a picture, my number one thing that I'm going to tell you is do not use a filter. The reason for that is for my business, obviously I edit pictures, but I have kind of a look to my images. And I think if you look at I'm trying to think of, for a restaurant, if you look at like Olive Garden or any of like those big chain restaurants, if you look at their social medias, they should have like a standard look to their images. Does that make sense?
Just like
it has a cohesive nature to it, okay? And you want to create that same look. For me, I'm going to show you my social media account. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I feel so inspired right now. But you see, like, if you look at my images, they are all light. Like she said, they're all airy. They all kind of have just a lightness to them. And they work together. Like, one doesn't stand out from the other, I guess I should say. I feel like they all work together. It's the same idea with your pictures, whether it be, for your, that beautiful plate of spaghetti or the cake that you make the next day. You want to make sure that they're edited the same way. Does that make sense? And just clicking on random filters isn't going to help you out. And it actually decreases, I think, the quality of it. Like, so what I wanted to show you is this is Instagram, but if you go into Instagram and you bring up a picture,
not me,
and I won't bring up. So I have this picture, and obviously I don't need to really necessarily edit it. But if I did need to edit it, I would go to the next, and instead of picking one of the filters, don't pick a filter. Go to the edit button. Ooh, and I'm gonna try and press it from this angle, and no, I just chose a filter. All right, but I'll go to the edit button, and it brings up this, and this is really like on a lot of apps the free apps, you can get things, so you can edit the brightness, you can edit the contrast, you could edit the just simple things. That's what you want to kind of learn how to do, and it takes 2 minutes. And really, I would just say brighten the image a little bit, maybe add a little contrast, and saturate it. Don't saturate it too much, but saturate it a little bit to add a little more color. And it's a basic, clean edit that I think will help you out, make your pictures look really nice, and they're not going to clutter up and muddy it up with a filter. There's a couple of the app that I use for it, just because I feel like it does a good job, is the VSCO app. It's just type in VSCO, you'll find it. It cost me a couple dollars. It's not that expensive, and it has filters on it, for heaven forbid. But really, it has the editing tools. But then the one thing I like about the app is it can choose. It will also, when you send it back into your camera roll, it will say export it to camera roll. You can export it, and it will say, do you want the full image size, or do you want to reduce the image size? And when it comes to camera sizing, especially with iPhone cameras, you don't need to worry about it too much. Like, I mean, people get all anxious, but if you're a person like me that fills up your iPhone, like I have 120 gig, and I somehow managed to fill up the memory. But if you are having issues with that, you can reduce the size of the image in that, and move it to a medium or a small, unless you're going to print this picture really big, which most times if you're doing social media stuff, I think you're not going to. So you would just do that, and you can change the image size. The one other thing that I felt like I wanted to share with you.
Do you have, like, while she's looking that up, does anyone out there have any questions, about photography or social media, things like that we can help to answer?
Yeah.
Just feel free to type them in, and we'll answer.
I'd love to answer your questions. Like I said, When it comes to cameras, the best camera you have is the one you have with you. You don't need a nice big fancy camera to take a good picture. I actually, on my personal, I'm a professional photographer and I take tons of pictures, and I take tons of pictures of my kids. But in all truth, in real life, I don't carry around my camera all the time. And most of my images are taken from my iPhone, and I feel like I get consistently very nice pictures of my family and children, and you can apply that same thing to your business page by just, like I said, properly exposing it. And if you want to edit it, do a very basic, simple edit, and it will give you a nice, simple, clean look for all of your images. And I think it can benefit you and your business. Sorry, I'm trying to show you. I can't. Well, I thought I'm going to block out my name because I don't necessarily want y'all to see my personal social media page. But these are all images that I took on, like, my camera. Not one of these images is taken on my iPhone camera. Not one of these images is taken with professional camera. I just had a baby. He's in the other room. And I mean, you can take great pictures, and it really is okay.
What about editing public domain pictures that other people have taken?
One thing as a photographer, like, if they're public domain, it does give you a little leeway, but I just would say if it's for your social media, you want to make sure you credit it, and don't act like it's your image. Okay. And if you're trying to edit it, I guess I don't know, how much you would want to edit an image if it's public domain, but if you feel you need to, I would just say keep it simple. And once again, always credit where you get the image from. I think that's the most important thing, and that kind of stuff. So,
great question.
Yeah, definitely. But is there anything that you?
I think that's
Yeah.
good for
Okay.
me. Is there any other business questions or anything that those of you who are out there would like us to answer? We do have a couple more minutes. I just wanted to, maybe for those who missed the introduction, just let you know a little bit more about what we're doing. Gerber Business Solutions is a coaching, consulting, and temporary administrative and marketing support company. So we can offer those things to your business if you have need of them. We also have just recently started doing these. The online solutions is a new part of Gerber Business Solutions that we want to offer, where it's free and low price workshops, webinars, and conferences, as well as PDFs that we're going to be putting out. So feel free to stay in touch with us as well.
Yeah, Camille just asked, is it best to have pictures of yourself? And for me personally, like, I'm a little different because of my photo business. I'm showing pictures that I've taken. Mm-hmm. But when I look at, I follow a lot of social media accounts. I think it's actually great to add a face to your business. Mm-hmm. And also, even for my photo business, whether I post a picture of myself or not, you want people to learn who you are and know who you are. You're selling a product, you're selling a product, but you're also selling yourself on social media. And if people can relate to you, I think they are much more inclined to buy from you or come to you for whatever service you're getting. And so putting a face to your business is, I think, very important.
Yeah, if I could just answer that a little bit too, Camille, as far as so if you have a product, it's really cool for behind the scenes kind of pictures to have, like, the owner of the company, or like a special spotlight video with the owner of the company or something similar to that. But as far as a product, you wanna mostly do pictures of the products, except for the behind the scenes stuff, which is really cool. But when you're selling a service, you do want to have a lot of pictures of the person who is doing the service. So for, like, Camille or for me, unfortunately, because I really hate being, like, on camera in front of people, it's not my favorite thing. But
you do such a good
job. Thanks, I'm working on it. I'm being brave, right, Camille? So it's really important as far as when you meet someone, you're introducing yourself to them. So yes, there are a lot of options out there that people have, but it's important to be confident that you offer something in a different way than anyone else can. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm not per se a salesy person, and some of the coaching that I've been given has been telling me to get rid of that term and to not think of it as a sales thing, because I personally don't like pushing things on other people. I feel like if they know me, they'll come around, they'll tell me like, hey, I want to work with you, but really it has to be more than that, because you're not going to work with somebody or give them money or like listen to their advice unless they know you. And so getting out there and being on social media like this and showing them parts of your life, not really private, not private parts, but just, at the friend level, at the friend stage, you want to stay there, and then they can get to know you better and feel more comfortable about what they're doing. And if they resonate with you, they'll stay with you. And that's why there's a lot of different options out there. So yeah. So hopefully that answered your questions, and we made it exciting and entertaining as much as business can be, because I know it can be a little bit rough sometimes. Anyway, wanted to thank Christy from Charmed Light Photography for doing this with me, and we do have a conference coming up in September. I wanted to give a shout out to that, September 14th, where we're going to be learning from Camille. She's going to be offering a workshop on wellness in the workplace. We're going to have a technology specialist who's going to talk to us about different options of really quick and easy and cheap things that you can do to put your small business in competitive advantage with larger size businesses. I'm going to be talking about sales funnels and how to set those up, as well as some setting up business plans. And then we're also hear from my graphic designer about branding and image for your company. So hopefully that will be something that you'll stay around for and will be helpful to you. We would love and appreciate any advice you have on things that you would love to hear about, and we will talk to you later. Do you want to get in the picture?
You can see this is the little guy that keeps trying to join us.
This is behind the scenes right here, literally behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much for supporting us, and let us know if you like this or what you'd like to see in the future. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.